Yo, what's up, John? What's up, Platinum? So, are you hearing it in stereo? I was listening back to the replay earlier, and I realized that my audio was in mono. And I was like, boy, that doesn't sound right. And it was in mono, and I think I fixed it. Should be hearing that in stereo. You probably have to wear headphones to really hear it. No, Terry, I was listening back to the replay, and I realized, I'm like, boy, this doesn't sound right. Like, you know, when I really noticed it was the keyboard part, right? I'm going, where's the ping pongs, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, where the hell's those ping pongs? And they're going bum, 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 bum down the middle. I'm like, that came through in mono. So I started to listen back to, like, my last couple of shows. And I'm like, holy shit, they're all in mono. What the hell is going on? And I came over here and I started to do a few recordings, and they're all coming out mono. And I know for a fact I've recorded in stereo because I did a bunch of videos for Positive Grid using the same OBS to do the screen recording, you know, and the video recording at the same time. And it had to be audio. It was a stereo video about how to get a stereo sound. I know it was doing stereo. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of frustrating. I'm going like, where the hell is my friggin' stereo audio? So I came over here and it has a bunch of auxiliary ins. And what I did was I just added all the extra auxiliary ins were disabled, and just like mic auxiliary 1 was enabled. And so I enabled the second one, and I noticed right away the two lines weren't lined up. Right, they were independent stereo. So this is what this should work. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, hold on. That's what it sounded like before. All right. And this is now. I think that's a huge difference, right? There it is, the old way. And then the new way. And then you can hear it, right? You should be hearing it ping-ponging through the ears. Very noticeable difference. Okay, good. That sounds stereo now. Okay, yeah, it might have sounded mono for a second because I did switch it to mono. Or as my dad would say, mono. I can't tell you how many times I've corrected him. Mono! Mono. I have a rather large iced coffee. All right, Patrick says it's stereo panning. Jason says, yep, I hear the ping pong. Good. Yeah, so you weren't even really hearing this thing. Buddy. My buddy cat. Like you weren't hearing, like in the... Probably didn't sound nearly as tight. Of course, I'm hearing it stereo in my ears. I'm going, yeah, that sounds badass. And you're like, I guess. Now, where did my... Oh, there it is. It's right there. There she blows. Sorry, I'm a little screwed up. Get over here, you. Get out of here. Get over here. There we go. My pick case. I just dropped my pick, and I don't want to go searching for it. I'm just going to grab it. Yeah, well, we'll stick with that. We'll just stick with that one. All right, that's a good one. There we go. All right. Now I know you're hearing it. All right. Better. Why couldn't you tell in your headphones while playing? Because I was hearing the stereo signal. Right? It was the software that runs out. It's right. That happens after the hardware interface. Unplug. My headphones are going directly into the hardware interface. So I'm hearing it, and it's going out and into here, but it was the. I don't hear it at the stream output. Right? That'd be too delayed. I hear it straight out of the interface. So it's stereo for me. It was when I was listening back to it, I'm like, wait a second. That doesn't sound right. Right, Buddy Cat? Buddy Cat says, yeah. Yeah, right? Now you hear the stereo. Right, right. Yeah. God, it's funny because I was listening back to it and I'm like, there's no way that sounds right. Like that didn't sound correct. Yeah, there we go. What's that one I like? A few of them. King Bass. Davey Lee's good. Greetings, San Diego. Yeah, right, Terry? And the funny thing is I kind of think that I'm somewhat technical, you know? I've been doing this a while. And yet, I'm listening back, I'm like, that's mono, brah. You just got monoed, brah. And I'm listening back to prior ones. And they're all going back mono. And I'm like, oh, ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. So I was doing that, and you guys were hearing, like, what is he talking about? The hell is he talking about? Jesus. Have a good one, Carl. Guitar man, I've been playing with my Wave State all week. Oh, nice. You picked up a Wave State, huh? Killer, right? And you weren't even hearing it in stereo. Like, listening back to it, you were hearing it in mono. Too funny. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so I think I solved the audio. See, now I know that you're hearing what I'm hearing. Very, very frustrating. I put a lot of time and effort into trying to get, a pretty good sound. This, I put ice cubes in it because they weren't quite totally cold, but they're Starbucks mochas. They're in a ridiculously overpriced little glass bottle. My wife bought like a case of them at Costco. So I just tossed 2 of them in here. Yeah, that's 2 bottles. And that glass had ice in it. Not a lot of liquid in those very overpriced little Starbucks bottles. Did you get a lot out of the semester you went to Berkeley? Yeah, I kind of did. I'll be honest, I think the next year, when I went to high school, you got to remember I went there between my junior and senior years in high school. The next year, my senior year in high school, I took a year-long music theory class that I really got a lot out of. That guy was really good. And it was a year long instead of a semester long, a summer long. So I felt like I learned a lot more, like the scales, the modes, chords, why you have to have like double flats. He was good. He was good. Why are we here at 1:30 a.m.? Because I figured out that I was listening back that I was in a mono. I wasn't coming through in stereo, and I fixed it. Should hear it in stereo now. Put homemade coffee in your ice cube tray, then coffee cubes in your coffee doesn't water down the Java. Nice. That's actually a pretty handy tip. Thoughts on Neil Peart? Amazing. I still think that John Bonham is probably my favorite drummer, though. Even though Neil Peart is certainly up there. And I think it's hard to argue, just in terms of, like, technical, that he's not really at the top of that game. You know who's actually quite a technician, believe it or not, is the guy who plays for Kiss. He's a studio cat, and it kind of shows. He really is. He's who kind of like who else is quite a technician too is oh god, he's on every album. I can't think of his name now. It'll come to me. He's on like everything. He's in a bunch of movies too. He's always like the drummer. Yeah, Kenny Aronoff. That's who I'm thinking of. I know Eric Singer. He's very, very much like, believe it or not, like a Kenny Aronoff. Very, just a total technician. Right? Put him in any situation, and he kind of does pretty good. The stereo. The stereo is stereo. Thoughts on Evertune bridges? They work. And there are guys out there, especially the metal chug guys, they really swear by them on their pointy headstock ESPs. But they do work. Evertunes work. And they're tunable too. Like if you don't really bend strings a lot, you can get a much wider tuning range. If you bend your strings, I think you sacrifice a little bit of the stability, right? Because you have to make it so that it responds when you bend the string. But it's it's probably one of the bigger advancements in bridge technology, and I'd say the last. Have they been out longer than 10 years? Has it been 15 years? I feel like they came out about 10 years ago. Yeah, Bonham was the man Incredible Swing. He really was. Good morning, Nick. See, I knew I'd flesh him out. These are the sober hours. I got a buddy at my leg saying, "What are we doing? We were going up. We were going up until you came down." We were. See, now you're hearing the stereo. Now you're finally hearing stereo. Where's my, let me see here. Yeah, I gotta raise that up an octave. Little fat analog for you. man, that is friggin'. There you go. Nice little tweaks. Like a brassy. Again, now you can hear it in stereo, which you couldn't hear before. I'm hearing them back there. I'm hearing them over there. There you go. Now you hear what I'm hearing, which is the stereo. It's got the stereo. Sounded lame before. When it gets, some monoed into, right, when those two channels, it's not the same. You might be right, Ogre Lord. Oh, you might be right about that. That's a conversation between my bladder and bowels every morning. What's that F sharp? I'm up late because I was hoping to resolve my stereo streaming problems. Turns out I've been streaming in mono, as my dad would say. It's mono, Dad. It's mono. Anyway, and I could hear it in the playbacks, and I was like, "Damn, that does not sound right." And I started to do some test recordings, and they were all coming out the same way, summed into the center. And so I set about fixing it, and I did. And now you're hearing it in glorious stereo. That's actually smart, Nick. Stereo overlord, what was the fix? I don't know. There's a couple of different mic auxiliary inputs on the software, and I was just using like the main one, like mic auxiliary input, but it was just mono. And then when I just said, well, let me enable it on number 2, and that seemed to fix it. So I can actually go back to the old one. I'm going to turn the new one off and the old one on. All right, so here are the Now that goes off. And the new one on. You should be getting like a stereo signal instead of a mono one. It makes a difference. I'm hoping you're hearing it correctly in the proper stereo fashion. Yeah. We'll be breaking out the Korg. That's Fatty Toro. Nice. I'm sure they sound better. What's that one I like? No. There's a whole bunch of basses and like dance crap. Did I have to sing? Nice. Into the blue. It's infinitely better than in mono. The keyboard has more of a stereo sound. It very well could, just because the guitar, I may not have the effects completely separated. There might be more like of a mix, and it depends on what the keyboard does. They might have them hard left and right. Just depends on the patch. Yeah, Mr. Crowley introduction. I don't know it. I should learn it. You know. You agree that Jared James Nichols is the best modern day guitarist? No. He's really good. My favorite guitar player right now, I'd say, is Chris Buck. The correct answer is Chris Buck. But Jared James Nichols is really, really good. He's a really amazing player. All right. Well, I think we figured out this is working. How long have I been going for? About a half hour. We'll finish this coffee. We'll call it a night. I am drinking coffee. I probably shouldn't be. It's kind of late for coffee. But I get to sleep in tomorrow. My wife's taking my son to the golf course, so. No present day guitarist excites you. A lot of good ones, but I've been liking Chris. I've been following him. He was at TGU 19. He was there for Yamaha, and I didn't really know who he was. And the guys from that pedal show were talking to him a lot. And then there was one night where we were all sort of hanging out by the bar, and I was down by this area with it was me and Chris Buck and Rob Chapman, and probably Guitar Gate, right? Mike. I'm trying to think of who else. It could have been Mary Spender. I forget if she was down there. They were having like a wedding at the hotel, so we were watching people go in. We're like, "Whoa, I think they're having a wedding down there, or a wedding reception, to be more accurate." And then, so we hung out there for a while, and then I didn't really talk to Chris after that night until the next day when I left to go back home, and my plane was so delayed, we got stranded in Amsterdam for the night, and they put us up in a hotel, and we were in the lobby of the hotel, and who came walking in but Chris. We're like, "Yo, what's up?" He goes, "Yeah, he missed his flight. He was stuck there overnight as well." There was a lot of rain. A lot of flights got delayed. So we wound up hanging out for the night in Amsterdam at this airport hotel. And really good guy. And so pretty much since then, I was like, well, maybe I'll check out some of this music. Right? I'm so bad at that. I'm really, really bad. Like the pedal show guys knew him instantly, but I didn't know him at all. And I've been really digging him. I like Chris Buck. I think his playing is just top notch. Just really, really good. Have a good one, Mike. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Martin Miller's really good too. I've been lucky enough to hang out with him a little bit. Really good guy, him and Martina. And yeah, stranded in Amsterdam for one night. Pretty much right next to the hotel. I mean, the airport. The hotel, they don't drive you too far from the airport. In fact, they don't drive you at all. We got to take a bus. Yeah, well, you know who showed up at the bus stop was Glenn Fricker. And so Glenn has his friend there, Grumpy Alex from Amsterdam, right? Grumpy Dutch. And he's like, he's going to come over and, he can drive us around. He's from Amsterdam. And so Fricker wasn't staying in our hotel. He didn't have the same deal that we had. He took money and a night at a different hotel in exchange for getting bumped from a flight. He's like, yeah, I'll take the money. I think they paid him like 300 euros to stay another night or like 250 euros or something like that to be bumped off the plane. And they give him up. They put him up in a hotel for the night, but it wasn't the same hotel. He was down the street. So we ate, and then Fricker took an Uber over to. They had Uber there, which was great. He took an Uber over to our hotel, and then he just hung out. So it was me, Chris Buck, Max Carlisle, right? You know, from Guitar Max. Chris Buck, and maybe Nathan, the bass player who was played with Devin Townsend that last tour. I always forget people's last names. Really, really good bassist. He was there. But I think he went upstairs. Only like 4 of us hung out. There was like 6 of us, and 2 of them went off to bed. And the rest of us hung down there. And Fricker wanted to go out, and we were like, no, let's just stay here. Like, you know, it's been a long day. I got my drink. I'm sitting at a bar in Amsterdam. I'm good. That's a little, that right there is a little amp. Little orange amp. Quail's a bit out there for me, but I was in the same Danny's Mill. Yeah, the different playing though. I would say Quail is a bit more legato, and but Martin Miller is he mixes it up more, I would say, whereas Quail tends to lean more towards legato as a style, and he literally tunes his guitar, I think, to help facilitate it, and it works for him. Floods in Germany the other day killed many people. No, I don't think we've had any deaths around here. We did have floods, but not like those floods. Those seem to be from the footage I saw on TV, because it has made it here to TV. It looked a lot worse. You know, it looks like what we would get in some areas that get flooded if like a levee breaks or something like that. Not just from straight rain. No, it looked real bad. It kind of reminded me, although we didn't have deaths or anything, it kind of reminded me of last year when we had that one day when we had like 7.5 inches of rain in like 45 minutes. It like literally just destroyed like the low-lying part of town. Just like everything in its path got ruined. Yeah, Tom tunes the fourths. Yeah, have a good one, Justin. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up soon. We're almost out. It's getting late. I know. Thanks, David. Have a good one. The funny thing is can anyone else hear this thing? I don't know if you're hearing it. It's not. I'm not imagining it. I can hear this analog synth. I can hear the oscillators tune themselves to an A. That's an A. You listen softly. I'm telling you right now. You can hear it go through a tuning routine. Come on. It's every so many seconds. You can hear it. You can hear it go through. It goes high to low, hitting every A at the octave, and it's probably doing a calculation. It's probably calculating it against something. Hear it? Just did it. Just did it. You can hear it running in the background. I can't hit a note. It'll be too loud. Those are the oscillators. Good old VCOs. Let's see. Clearly, it does it every so many seconds. You hear that? Those were all A's. And then back to the background drone. Yeah, it takes a minute. It's probably a 60-second. So every 60 seconds, it retunes itself. I know when I started it, I have to wait forever for it to calibrate. So there must be some sort of a digital tuner built in that tweaks the oscillators every so often to make sure that they're in tune. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, a little Steve Miller for you. Do-do-dee-dee-dee, do-do-dee-dee. Nice. Anyway. Gotta get your finger right on it. If you take too slow, you know. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, thanks, Lois. Much appreciated. And now I want to run everything through stereo now. What a difference. What a difference a little stereo makes. There you go. All right, dudes. Well, my coffee's done. We have figured out the stereo. We are now stereo. And that's good. So it will be stereo from here on out. I can't believe it wasn't. It's like that was one of the things I really prided myself on, was having a stereo signal. And turns out at some point along the way it went to mono. And I'm glad to have figured and resolved that. All right, dudes. You have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. And I'll see you in a week. Just to be a do, right? All A's. I'm hearing A. All right, dudes. Have a good one. Later.